The beginning of Minecraft can be a familiar experience. A new sunrise, wandering an untouched world, discovering a village on a hilltop. Only this one began ignorant of an audience. I've returned to this spawn location with an empty inventory to build a campsite to commemorate the start. And it begins the way you do, punching a tree. I mined stone until my pickaxe broke, and then I went to harvest some wood. Like, a lot. I didn't want to be running out of basic supplies. This included the one lone oak tree in the area, which was good because I had planned to build with oak. Oh, also I found some sheep. By then I had the supplies for enough stone tools to clear the space for my campsite. At which point it was time for some resource gathering to construct the build, so I ran around doing that until there was nothing left to do but get to work. For what was a fairly quick build, I'm quite pleased with the campsite. It reflects the rough start, and it was a good reminder not to get stuck when you don't have a lot to work with. The limited block palette was good practice, if a bit frustrating here and there. I included a simple decorative egg farm for some functionality, along with it being a place to sleep, craft, and cook within sight of the world's selling point. It's really made for a pleasant atmosphere when re-entering the world whenever I mess up from here on out and die without setting my spawn. As for the rest of what I built here, I had no intention of bringing anyone along for this ride. It was for me. Grinding my way through the early game until I had the basics. It's a story you've all heard, but now I've begun to move in, and suddenly I want to remember tomorrow how it felt today. Maybe it's still just for me, and that's okay. Maybe this is the tree that falls in the forest with no one to hear it, and if that's the case, I guess I can make as much sound as I want. I needed a furnace, but I didn't want to deal with refueling constantly, so a small tucked away bamboo auto farm and a block maker made it easy to use smelting array. It won't be breaking any records, but for the little odds and ends, I need code to help do the trick. A simple build to complete the look allowed it to be a more permanent addition to the town. Next was the ever-critical moss and bone meal farm, needed for growing and landscaping, so I designed a building around the premise of what would be inside, featuring moss and mossy stone, as well as bone blocks made from the farm itself. It has a golem-sorted storage basement for the moss products, and an outdoor pickup chest for the excess bone blocks. I'm really quite pleased with how this came together. I had fun making the item pickups and service entrance into decorative features. There was my slime farm, which only really needed a way up and down, so I built a tower to mark the location. It lended itself well to this dark, magical feel. I really like using the products of farms to make highlights in the block palettes for the build, and you can see that here in the slime part of the roof and welling up in the windows upstairs. A swamp wizard who took a lot of effort to get in place dwells in the basement, guarding the surface connection of the spiral staircase leading down into the farm itself. During the build, I really became obsessed with the view from the top of the path, and I spent hours designing and implementing exactly how I wanted the hill to give way, and I just absolutely love how it came out. After that, I cleaned up some early game junk and resources in preparation for my next build, a zombie spawner farm with the drowned conversion system. The outside building was far too boring to provide atmosphere, and the interior needed an overhaul from being just a hole in the ground. I started with the tunnel entrance before making my way into the AFK room itself, which, after it was built, would be perfectly safe. The interior room really only serves to AFK and gather XP from the Trident Killer, sending the items to the surface for a copper golem sorting and ease of access. The farm automatically sorts and smelts armor, and as a result it yields gold as well as copper, which is why I chose to feature those sets of armor. After a little bit of polish and wax, the room was finished, and it was on to the upstairs. The farm itself is just a simple zombie farm on a zombie spawner, which was really conveniently close to the surface. I accidentally found it in a very small ravine behind where this location was originally. And the drowned converter is just a pair of pistons that stop the zombies and trap them in shifts, letting groups of them convert, and as soon as they convert into drowned, dropping them out of the water so that they can be killed by a Trident Killer. I designed that system myself, and I'm quite proud of it. It works perfectly. Chimney and water piping gives the outside look a small-scale industry vibe, and I was quite a fan of the mud and brick roof I landed on for the block palette. It's a good complement to the copper building itself. After it oxidized, I polished and waxed it all for just the right look I was going for. Having finished my small copper and gold farm, I was left with the elephant you may have noticed earlier. It's my iron farm and villager trading hall. It was made early enough that it took some extra preparation to get everything ready to build it, but it's finally time. Though I had already established a basic shape and wall texture, it was in need of more than a few central features and some finishing touches. The towers on either end of the factory floor house the entrances, featuring iron in many forms harvested from the farm itself. It has a patched together feeling that I quite like, and between that and the mending enchantment sold inside, I began to form the story for it from there. The sides facing into and away from the town were built to house AFK spots in the balconies, reachable by a ladder through the small entry door on the first floor. I think I captured the spirit of the building effectively. It appears sturdy, and it was the core foundation to what I've been able to accomplish in the survival world to this point. The iron produced by the farm is easily and automatically available for trading with the villagers inside, blending convenience and purpose into the space, while the lookout above is both spawn-proof and provides access to the farm interior if the need should arise in the future. All in all, a very enjoyable start to a world I hope to be covering in aesthetic infrastructure for a long time into the future. Thanks for sticking with me this far, and until our paths cross again, this has been Tux.